The role of the subtle and spiritual in community living on the land, a feminine perspective, with Didi Ananda Us'a. This is ConsciousEarthAlliance.com.
For a few days since I was asked to talk, something very, very strong in my mind keeps coming. And it's when I heard long time ago that if you have a lamp bulb, that it's the 60 volts lamp, and you want to pass a current of 1,000 volts, that bulb will explode. So in order to strengthen individual self, human beings, and to make our lives better, we have to make ourselves stronger in every layer, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, and all that. But how to do that? We start with different practices. Everybody has their choice of what they choose to do in their life to develop themselves, but also it is a very empowering thing when we recognize that, yes, I need to change, and I can change, and I can make myself improve and be better. So the spiritual outlook means the courage to face ourselves in the mirror and be able to do something to change ourselves first, and then think of changing society, and then think of sharing. So in my personal experience, and I have contacted and communicated with people in many countries and worked with people in many countries, what I feel that's most important, it is the humbleness to start the spiritual journey to change ourselves before we can say, we want to live in community. And why do I say that? It's because there are many intentional communities in the world. Of course, it's composed of people, and everybody very concerned about nature and about the changes that are happening in the planet and so on and so forth. But to live together, to be able to learn to live together, is the greatest challenge. And why is that the greatest challenge? Because everybody's individual self is developing gradually, and we have to learn to develop together as a spiritual community, as a world in change. So now, as we see, there have been so many incredible experiences lately in this planet, and the acceleration of physical transformations in the nature, with all the different things that are happening due to the upcoming pole shift, which is already started. And all these changes are making people realize day by day and more that what does matter more? Is it the color of my skin, or is it my profession or level of education? And especially in the last 2 years, we have lived everywhere in the world through an incredible period of change, of development, an extreme fast development of through this realization that we took a lot for granted for a very, very long time. And there is no time to waste. We cannot waste time. So since the beginning of this century, and started in the last century, the acceleration of changes in the physical level, in the psychological collective level, are tremendous, and they will keep going on and on and on until we realize that, yes, we are one. Human society is one, and human society is indivisible. And so I have seen here, for example, there are communities in the United States that started with a lot of enthusiasm of a lot of people, and one of them developed to have 2,000 people suddenly, and now they're down to 200. The enthusiasm of humanity is always there. We want to do something different, but we have to plan and train and grow, train ourselves to do that. As some of the speakers have shared, there is so much to learn, and it has to start from birth. this change has to start from birth. That's why the education of early childhood kids is very, very important, because 85% of the personality of a human being is formed before the age of 6. Okay, so if we are wanting to transform this society and make it a better place, we need to do it together, and we have to start with early childhood, and we have to, each individual, do something to learn more about themselves and practice things that help develop their level of consciousness through whether it's exercises or different spiritual practices or meditation, and also accept everyone as part of myself. Everyone is one, and I am one with everyone. I feel that there is a saying that nobody owes me anything, but I owe everything to everyone. At this level of humble consciousness has to exist if we have to live as a world community, or if we want to live in an intentional community. We have to accept that we owe everything to everyone, and nobody owes us anything. There must be tolerance for each other's shortcomings. There must be acceptance that, yes, we can live together if we have a common goal. There will be always opportunities for us to expand, and there will be always challenges that put us down. So how do we fight these external challenges of this world of very materialistic culture? Is by coming together. Those who have similar ideas, those who have intentions that are of the same kind, need to have a meeting point. Whether it is a physical meeting point, a mental meeting point, or a spiritual meeting point. Society has to develop by allowing those who feel the right to change be part of themselves. We are in for a lot of trouble coming, and because the world as we see is not stopping to change in the physical level, and world populations, a lot of world populations are struggling a lot. You can see with the migrant problems, with the health problems that we are facing everywhere. There is a tremendous shift and of disparity, of tremendous efforts of some control the many. And the world, as we see, nature is suffering, agriculture is suffering, human life is suffering, and mainly, as there is going to be more and more shortage of drinking water. So we have to develop a lot in our ecological level, in our, in our agricultural level. What do we do to preserve nature, to have seed banks, to do different kinds of agriculture that are more sustainable? But we have to do it together. And my experience here in the United States is that not so many people are interested to do agricultural work. Actually, people are more interested to be in front of the computer. Is it true or not? So that aspect of radical changes will come when people will be forced to do something for themselves. So now we see in different societies of the planet where people are going through a lot of struggle, there is a push for that change. And then I remember when I was in Los Angeles in 1994, January, there was a huge earthquake, which was the first earthquake I experienced in my life. And after the 2 months that we spent there doing enormous relief work, and so many thousands of people living in the parks, and so many undescribable situations, to know to say, I asked one of the doctors that I knew when I was staying with their family. I asked, what do you think about this experience? he said, well, Didi, there should be more and more earthquakes. I said, why are you saying that? Your house was destroyed, your office was destroyed, and you are saying this. I was so shocked by his answer. He said, you cannot imagine how nobody knew each other in Los Angeles before the earthquake. And now in this whole area, we were in the epicenter of earthquake. People became so human, so helping each other, everybody wanting to do something for each other. So sometimes we think, oh, calamities are very bad. Well, that's the response of nature. But that response also brings a consequence. It brings a challenge that we have to face and we have to overcome. Whether somebody died or somebody was wounded, but those who remain have to learn something from it. And so I've been through tremendous amount of situations in this country and in this continent of North America and Haiti and Central America and Mexico, many, many places, so many distractions, situations of hurricanes, earthquakes, and so many things. And it's always the same experience. People love to be together. People love to help each other. Why? Because that's the nature of human beings, is to help each other, is to do something. Because if we don't, that nature that we have, which is to serve, which is to expand, which is to flow towards a goal, which is to totally attain oneness with that supreme entity, that is not fulfilled if people do not do service to themselves and to the community around. That whole energy that exists within us, tremendous amount of spiritual energy to give. If it is blocked, it boomerangs back to us in the form of a negative consciousness, and people acquire what is called psychosomatic disease. And over 80% of the diseases have psychic origin. So we have that challenge in society. Why? Because materialism, capitalistic society is imposing self-centeredness, whereas spiritual outlook of life is giving us opportunity to open and be selfless. And so I feel that it is extremely urgent and important that we accept that we have to do maximum giving, maximum service in every level, individually, in a family level, in a social level, so that we can be able to be transformative and change our world. Thank you very much.